Acha, open the PDF, presentation PDF. So last day we had talked about hydrophytes. So what did you find in hydrophytes? In hydrophytes, you found that plants which live in water, excess water. So their adaptation is according to hydrophytes, according to excess water. Now today, scarcity of water, and they are known as xerophytes. So we'll talk about some adaptations of xerophytes. Okay. So xerophytes are basically are plants which grow in deserts. Not only deserts, even in dry places. They grow in areas where there is less water. Okay. So we will go to the next slide. So what are xerophytes? Xerophytes are plants which are able to survive in an environment with very little water, where water availability is very low. Okay, in deserts. So they have a special adaptation. So first, let's look at the adaptation which happens in roots. We will go through this. Then I will show you. I will send some pictures of uh, some xerophytes. Okay, aloe vera, cactus. So let's look at the roots. So first thing is roots possess a number of root hairs and well-developed root caps. So water is very less. The function of root hair is to absorb water. So the roots possess a lot of root hairs. একটা বলে আসবে যাবে উপর দিয়ে আসবে Yeah. Okay, so the roots possess a number of root hairs and well-developed root caps. They need caps because the soil is sandy and harsh. So they need caps. Root cap has to be very strong. It has to go penetrate through the soil. And the roots are covered with thick cork-like layers. Cork দেখে বোতলের ছিপির মতন cork. So they are covered with thick cork-like layer. It protects the inner tissues. They have a well-developed stellar system. Now, what is a stellar system? Can anybody tell me? Bolo, stellar system. I'll show, send you a picture. तो बोल सकते हो what is a stellar system? Constellation. Have you heard about constellation? So what is a constellation? It is a number of stars that orbit each other. Constellation. You see lots of stars in a fixed pattern. So when you take a cross section of a plant, you see something like that, and that is known as a stellar system. Right? I'll show you. I'll send a stellar system photo. Basically, there are cortex. Cortex is the portion. If you take a cross section of a leaf stem, cortex, central cylinder, it is known as stele. बीच में एक cylinder है, बाहर में cortex है. So, and this system is known as stellar system. I'm sending you a picture of stellar system. ये तो ये भेजा, एक सेकेंड. The Pinus I have sent right now. I have sent a stellar system. So the stellar system has got a central cylinder known as pith. अंदर का pith. Then it is covered by endodermis. Then you have the inner pericycle, inner phloem, xylem. Then you have the outer phloem, outer pericycle, outer endodermis. So bhetor ka under ka portion is the stellar system. So different type of stellar system, haplostele, actinostele. Don't have to just to understand what is a stellar system. So they have a well-developed stellar system. That means they have got a peak, they have got inner pericycle, inner phloem, outer phloem, xylem, outer pericycle, epidermis, outer endodermis. Then you have the other xylem phloem tissues from outside, the parenchymal tissues. And then you have on the outside epidermis, and you have the cuticle covering. What they have, the intercellular spaces are very much reduced. So the space between the cells. So if you see a section, the space between the cells are very much reduced. For example, in plants, a spongy plant, in the leaf, if you take a section, you find that there are parenchymal cells, palisade parenchyma, then spongy parenchyma. So in this, you will have lots of air spaces in between, especially in the spongy parenchymal region of the leaves. You have lots of air spaces. And these air spaces, basically, they are needed for many things, many purposes. They store the oxygen and everything, and then they go into the, basically, you have the cells with which have got chlorophylls in spongy parenchyma. So all the photosynthesis, they take place. They need the air, the carbon dioxide comes to the stomata, then it goes into these air spaces. So they take the spaces from there. And the mechanical tissues are well developed and made up of thick walled cells. Mota mota. Now if you go look at we saw the leaves. Basically, leaves in cactus, basically they are just converted into thorns. So actual thing is the stem. In aloe vera you find leaves, but the actual thing is the stem. So let's look at succulent. Succulent means which mota mota thick fleshy plants. Aloe vera, cactus, in deserts, they are succulents. In succulent, xerophyte stem possesses a water storage region. So the stem has got a water storage region. Inside the stem, you find a place where water is stored. इसीलिए मोटा हो जाता है. Water is stored over there. Sap. In non-succulents, जो succulents नहीं है, not like cactus, like dry plants, some other dry plants. The cuticle is very thick. For example, dry plants like nerium, which are non-succulent, nerium. The cuticle is thick, epidermis is well developed with thick cell walls. Then you have hypodermis, it is several layered and sclerenchymatous, hard, sclerenchyme tissues, they are hard. The stomata are of sunken type, which is going inside. It is sunken inside. It is not like in normal cells, it's protruding outside, but they are sunken inside. And the vascular tissues are very well developed. Vascular tissues are well developed, and the differentiated tissues, they are also well developed. What are the vascular tissues? Xylem and phloem, they are the vascular tissues. And other tissues which are there, they are the vascular tissues. बाहर का चमड़ा, well developed in non-succulents. In then succulent leaves, aloe vera for example, aloe vera देखे हो ऐसे ऐसे निकला हुआ रहता है. So, so here the epidermal cells of the leaves, they serve as water storage organs, and that is that aloe vera gel which you take and you put it on your face for good skin, or if you have cuts, cracks, if you have piles problem, whatever problem, aloe vera is there. When you drink, it improves your immunity. It's a very healthy plant. It's important and it's very beautiful. You can make a decorative piece also in house. So aloe vera is a very useful plant. Former times in Rajasthan they used to grow like anything in dry places. Nowadays they have come to all houses. Aloe vera is very nice. It's a very useful plant. They have prominent water storage region in their mesophyll, in the leaves. They have got water storage regions. इसीलिए मोटा होता है, thick होता है. And the cuticle is thick, heavily deposited with cutin and cellulose. Both are compounds. Cellulose is a compound. Cutin covering is also a compound. In non-succulents like nerium, it is the cuticle is well developed and heavy. Mota cuticle. Several layered epidermis. Below the epidermis, several layered sclerenchymatous hypodermis. Epidermis के नीचे hypodermis. Then you have the endodermis. And mesophyll very well differentiated into palisade and spongy parenchyma. So you have the cuticle on the top. Below the cuticle, you have the epidermal cells. It's multiple layer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layer. Below that, you have the palisade parenchyma. Okay. Palisade parenchyma, you know what palisade parenchyma? I have sent you the definition. So palisade, it is the upper layer of brown tissues in a leaf. It is present in the upper epidermis. The cells are elongated. Below the palisade parenchyma, now you see the TS of the figure I have sent, TS of nerium leaf. What's up, Kula? What's up? Open WhatsApp. So if you look at the leaf of nerium, it looks like this. देखो the cuticle is very thick. दिख रहा है? मोटा cuticle figure. खुला है picture. TS of nerium leaf, yellow color photo. Yellow gray. Thick cuticle. Below that, you see many layers of multi-layered epidermis. Below that is the palisade parenchyma, lamba cells, elongated cells. Then you have the spongy parenchyma, basically chlorophyll containing cells. अब बीच में देखो air sacs है. Sunken stomata, stomata अंदर में घुसा हुआ है. Stomata they allow for gaseous exchange in the leaves. Water evaporation होता है, transpiration होता है stomata में. जब when the temperature is high, you need evaporation to cause new leaks. अंदर से पानी निकल जाता है evaporate होकर. So if the stomata बाहर में open prominent stomata, if there was open prominent stomata, then what problem would you face? 2 मिनट में सूख जाएगा डेजर्ट में. So वो एकदम नीचे रहता है. So that gas doesn't come in very easily. Gas doesn't come out very easily. Heat has got least effect. Then guard cells they guard the stomata को protect करके रखते हैं. Then you have the pit. Some call it PITH, some call it pit. Basically, it's the cavity inside. Then on that you have the hairs like trichomes present. Then the lower epidermis followed by lower epidermis. नीचे अब लीफ के नीचे देख रहे हो. स्टोमाटा नीचे रहता है. लीफ में where is the stomata? Is bit bottom तो. So नीचे से देखो तो cuticle पतला, then lower epidermis, trichomes, hair like trichomes, then अंदर में घुसा हुआ stomata, then you have guard cells stomata, then you have spongy parenchyma, palisade parenchyma, multilayered, ऊपर में भी cuticle. So this is how the nerium leaf looks like. Let's get back to the presentation. I've shown you the CS of nerium leaves. And here I've told that the stomata is sunken. लोअर एपिडर्मिस में, अंदर में घुसा हुआ. वैस्कुलर टिश्यूज आर वेरी वेल डेवलप्ड. Xylem phloem spongy parenchyma में. In fine, well developed complex transfusion tissues are present. Aloe vera का leaf का structure भी it is present. Same similar structure. I have shown you the structure. Now one thing is that there is a thing known as the leaves are rolled up. पकड़ना. Aloe vera में भी ऐसे पकड़ना. It's not straight. It's like always like this. So can you see? Grooves are seen. Groove मतलब ये थोड़ा सा खांच. You can see on the adaxial surface. मतलब ऊपर जहाँ पे रोल हुआ है. Abaxial, adaxial. Stomata are seen only in the grooves. So a groove के अंदर we have the stomata. It is sunken inside. Vascular bundles are present in the region. Vascular bundles. ये ब्लू येलो बीच में है, दिख रहा है छोटा छोटा कैंडी जैसा, माला जैसा. So those are vascular bundles. Xylem and phloem, conduction of water and minerals. Then mesophyll cells are sclerenchymatous, थोड़ा सा hardish. Photosynthetic tissues are present at the grooves. Okay. Now let me talk about the physiological adaptation. This was morphology and anatomy we have seen, especially the anatomy. If you look at the stomatal opening in the dark, plants मतलब जब रात में in the dark, their respiration होता है, not photosynthesis, and they produce acid, lactic acid and all these things. In light, they dissociate, and they, when light is there, they dissociate and they produce carbon dioxide. ठीक है? तो रात में respiration हुआ, dark में क्या हुआ? Glucose is broken down, and some acid, lactic acid, pyruvic acid, all these are formed. And daylight, they break up and carbon dioxide is released. Acids in the guard cell increase osmotic concentration. So the acids which develop in the guard cells, stomata को जो guard करता है, okay, they increase the osmotic concentration. Osmotic concentration, if it increases, what happens? It pulls water from outside. ठीक है? हाई ऑस्मोटिक कॉन्सेंट्रेशन अगर हुआ, अगर सिर्फ जैसे रसगुल्ला में रस कैसे घुसाता है, अंदर में मोटा चीनी का डेला दे देता है छेना में, फिर दे पुट इट इन वाटर, बिकॉज ऑफ द ऑस्मोटिक पुल दे पुल द वाटर इनसाइड, रस बन जाता है. ठीक है, अंदर में. सो दिस इज हाउ यू मे सेम थिंग, दिस इज ऑस्मोसिस, सेम थिंग. अंदर में दिस एसिड इंक्रीज द ऑस्मोटिक कॉन्सेंट्रेशन, पानी को खींच लेता है अंदर में. So water को खींचने से क्या? This causes the inward flow of water in the guard cells. The guard cells are turgid. Stomata खुला हुआ है. Turgid मतलब पानी से लथपथ भरा हुआ है. Filled with water. जल भरा है, ठसठस करते हैं. And when it is filled with water, stomata is open. Daylight में क्या हुआ? CO2 बन गया. CO2 is used up in photosynthesis. ठीक है? तो CO2 को पकड़ के फोटोसिंथेसिस हो जाता है, ऑक्सीजन बनाता है. ग्लूकोज, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, ऑक्सीजन এগুলোকে তৈরি করে. So the CO2 is used up in photosynthesis. Then what happens? Osmotic concentration of cells have decreases because acid तो टूट गया, acid has been broken. It is from CO2. CO2 has been taken up, तो फाका हो गया. Osmotic concentration has become low. কমে গেল osmotic concentration. এটা কমে গেলে কি হলো? জলগুলো আর ঢুকলো না ভেতরে, জল টানছে না. গার্ড সেলসের টার্জিট জোরটা জলে ভরা ছিল, ন্যাপকাতে হয়ে গেল, and stomata is closed. Okay, stomata closed means no water evaporation can take place. This happens in light during the daytime. This is a physiological adaptation. So the chemical compound, next one. The chemical compounds of cell sap are connected to wall forming compounds. They are finally incorporated into cell walls. Polysaccharides converted into cellulose, formation of suberin. So all this suberin is there. Polysaccharides means polysaccharides are sugars which have got lots of units of saccharides, glucose. They are polysaccharides. Many of them together they form polysaccharide. Here, cellulose is basically lots of units of glucose attached together. Then you have catalases, peroxidases, they are more active. So, because these enzymes they reduce oxidative stress. They reduce oxidative stress. These enzymes are needed for reducing oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is free radicals are formed. They cause cancer. In humans, they cause cancer, but in plants, they cause destruction. And drought resistance capacity is due to the structural features, resistance of hardened protoplasm to heat and desiccation. Desiccation मतलब टूट के बिखर जाना desiccation. So how is transpiration regulated? So transpiration is regulated by the cuticle, बाहर में, stops water from going out from the stomata. मोटा waxy cuticle. Surface is polished. जितना the more polished the surface, less evaporation takes place. The cells are compact. पास में. So stomata is sunken. अंदर में घुसा हुआ. Stomata has got hair. Hairs don't allow the movement. Okay. Then high osmotic pressure of cells. What I was telling right now, all these things. High osmotic pressure, what it does, it increases turgidity. मतलब लथपथ हुआ. That is stomata is open. And high osmotic pressure affects the observation of water. Water जाना बंद कर देता है. बस ये actually you can find them this if you go to this link next slide. I have taken information from this particular website. Okay, you can go and see the original thing. बस thank you. कोई questions है? Next day then what we will talk.